All right, say no more. 9 Spiral, fair use, YouTube. This is allowed for purposes of criticism, news reporting, teaching, and parody, which doesn't infringe upon my copyright under Title 17 USC Section 107. No more of that long shit no more. Let's cook. All right, 9 is in the building. Let's do it. Let's do it. Let's cook. Let's cook. All right. Who we have on the screen today? We have IUIC, right? And we gonna dig on them, right? Look at old Nate. Old Nate dog in the house. Big Nate, what's happening, boy? Holla at your boy, man. Come on, man. Holla at me. Nate, come deal with me, huh? Come on, deal with me, come on, deal with me. We gonna pop off. And this don't look like the trenches right here. This is actually in Memphis. And we gonna see how Nate and the boys get down, right? How they do their bidding. Huh? You are of your father. Those that adorn themselves in foreign apparel, huh? You with the scarlet? Okay, all right. Pop off, Nate. Memphis, okay. Expo. Oh, Nate, look at old Nate. Nate dog in the house. All right, what we have here, y'all? Look like we got some smoke. This Aqua right here. She's playing no games, right? And so she's going toe to toe with oh boy, with the glasses. You know what I'm saying? I forget his name. I think it's Ethan, something like that. I mean, much respect, man. I mean, well, kind of. I'm just saying, you know what I'm saying? I'm not trying to diss nobody like that. You feel me? It ain't that serious. But, you know what I'm saying? You are in our community. And, right, it's up for us to expose those Israelites that are with the foolishness. Right? Because that's exactly what I see when I see IUIC. Now, I'm not talking about everybody that's in IUIC, because many of y'all are fooled, right? You know, your enemy is very crafty, cunning, and your leaders, right, are wicked. Some of them, right? And we're here to expose that it is our duty, right? Okay, we're gonna pop off and you know what I'm saying, see what the smoke is about. Let's do it.
Hey, what happened? Yeah. That was after his What is I mean, what are you trying to say? Well, you brought it up. I want you to explain. I know this book, even though I don't know.
She said she know that book. Boy, what goddamn kind of camera that is? That's nice. With that high def or something? It's high def, Nate. There were them ohms be buying them ohms. You gotta pay ohms. That nigga shit high def, boy. Let's get it. Pop off, Nate.
I know this book.
Explain Constantine to me that you brought it up.
What does Constantine have to do with what you're standing here saying now?
You brought it up. I want you to explain.
No, you asked about the Council of Nicaea.
That's what you're talking about. That's what you're talking about, right?
It was John Constantine.
Now, clearly, this Aqua right here has done some debating, right? And so she seems to be shutting down the tactics that some of these camps use, right? Clear. You can see it here clear, right? she had to divert it back to him, right? That's what you call pitch it back to him. You asked me. You brought him up. You see what I'm saying? Aqua ain't no joke. Let's get it.
It was the white man that took over Egypt.
He wasn't white. Now explain to me. Explain to me about Constantine and why he took the council. Because you brought it up.
To decide the role of the divinity of Jesus in the New Testament.
Okay, what was he before that? What was he into before that?
He was a Roman.
Okay,
My question.
Hit the music. Hey, the motherfucker said he was a Roman. Let go, getting a little spicy.
My question to you is, how can you stand out here?
What was he into before that?
How can you stand out here?
I'm gonna deal with it.
How can you enlighten our people by the same book that has enslaved our people? Answer me that.
Want me to answer that? With the Bible? That's what I'm gonna do. But you brought Constantine.
I just want to know.
All right.
You brought up Constantine. You brought up the Council of Nicaea. I said nothing of those things.
So you're talking about, what council you referring to? You said a council, right?
I didn't say the
Yes, you did.
council.
You mentioned council.
All right, and watch out for them Israelites. They be bucking their eyes all the time. You said Constantine, right? You said it. Hold on. Wait a minute, Shawty. Hold on. Let's get that again. Buck them eyes on them. Let go. Come on with it.
You brought up the Council of Nicaea. I said nothing of those things.
So you're talking about, what council you referring to? You said a council, right?
You see that? Put the camera on his ass, boy.
Council you referring to then?
That council.
Of who?
As you said, I did not bring up Constantine. You asked me who was Constantine.
Cornette, she said, you asked me. You see what I'm saying? So sister ain't playing no game, right? She ain't playing no game.
Nothing of those things.
So you're talking about, what council you referring to? You said a council, right?
You see that? I got him. Watch out for them Israelites to be bucking them eyes. Like you said council, right? See, you trying to put that in her mind, right? You said council, right? She said, no, nigga, you said it. All right, let pop on, we live.
I didn't say
Yes, you did.
council.
You mentioned council earlier. I said, what council? Council of Nicaea? So what council you referring to then?
That council.
Of who?
As you said, I did not bring up Constantine. You asked me who was Constantine as if I may not have known.
Oh.
So I told you who he was.
Okay.
But my question to you, I just have one question. How can you teach it?
It's very, very simple. Very, very simple. Once again,
I'm about to go. Tell me who you
are you
are.
gonna go? You hear the answer.
I won't go.
Are you gonna go? You hear the answer.
I want both. I want to hear the answer so I can go. I need both of the answers.
Yo, son, that was a G check home. She said, I need both of them. I need an answer so I can get up out of here, nigga. Give me some of that fried chicken and go on home. But go ahead on, let pop off.
And you preaching out of the book of Romans. What do they have to do?
Come.
With anything?
Come.
You ask me to get your question, you go so far to.
Okay.
The conversation involves you talking, me listening, and me talking and you listening.
Let's go ahead. I don't need you to explain to me like that as if I'm not listening.
You're not listening. You're talking while I'm talking.
This is not listening.
See, now,
Spicy.
now we got the demons. Now we can continue.
She's spicy.
Be that. Deuteronomy chapter 28, verse 18.
Wait, let me say something.
Are you on your own? You on your own? We got it for food day.
GMS on the scene. Boy, look here, boy. Look at boy, that nigga little hard as on or what? Boy, look here, boy. That nigga, boy, them GMS boys ain't no joke. We got action. Pop off. Boy, what that is? Boy, that boy got some draperies. What is some draperies? All right, pop off now. Uh-oh.
Whoever does it, we're gonna blast you. We're letting everybody know now. Okay? So brothers gonna edify, fine. You're more than welcome to listen. But if it's about the Negro stupidity, let me start an argument, we're gonna blast.
Ooh, they said we go blast. Okay, now one would think that Nate, right, is stunting, right? He holding his nuts, right? And rightfully so, right? But I'm here to tell you, right? If you think for a minute that these GMS Israelite ox, if you think that they're a joke, boy, you're sadly mistaken. All right, you're rocking with 9 Spiral, and we're reconning GMS. All right, look at their YouTube page. And I'm trying to show you something. You think they're some pushovers or something? Uh-huh. Uh-huh. Here go.
Come on, try me. Because I'm gonna fucking do it. You're gonna do that again, I'm gonna spit on you. These are all your witnesses right here. If you do that again, you give me permission to spit on you. I don't know what my attention. No, wait. No, you either need my attention for something. I don't know what you want. I don't need your help. But these guys think that shit is socialist. That's what I'm saying. They're just trying to work you. All of your fucking bullshit. You think that shit is fucking cool? Huh? Go get some fucking help, man.
Man. Go get him, man. Whoa! That's what I'm talking about. Huh? So look here, man, that ain't no joke.
Whoever does it, we're gonna blast you. We're letting everybody know now. Okay? So brothers gonna edify, fine. You're more than welcome to listen. But if it's about the Negro stupidity, let me start an argument, we're gonna blast.
Well, look here, Nate, I don't think you want none of them boys there, boy, them boys. Hey, boy, them boys, hey, look here, boy, they the outcasts of the Israelite camp, but look here, boy, they in the trenches for real, boy.
I don't know if y'all noticed, this ain't cheap here. So I don't know if y'all noticed, this ain't cheap here. So I've heard has schools raising men up who have never given alms. Are you kidding me? That means you don't believe. Are you kidding me? That means you don't believe.
Hey, Big Nate say he need them alms, huh? Need them alms, just like the pastor at the Pastor Poach shop down at your local Baptist. He need them alms. What kind of collection plates y'all got? Pop off, Nate.
You're sitting around, giving everybody the high five and thumbs up. You never support, but they're being raised up. No, that's out of order. That's crazy.
Elder, can you repeat that one more time, please? That statement right there. Repeat it so it echoes everywhere in the world. Again.
You see that brown nosing ass nigga right here? Elder, can you repeat that, bro? Now watch what Nate do to his ass. Pop off on him, Nate.
Go ahead, you say it for me.
Woo! Now, nigga, you say it. You see that? That's why I don't pay to do that, man. Nah, don't do that, man. You wrong for that, partner. All right, pop off.
If you are not giving alms, if you got short arms.
Then he laughed at your ass. Y'all heard? And he said, nah, you tell him. All right, now. Big Nate.
In deep pockets syndrome, you're not going to be raised up.
And all guile, all trickery, deceit.
If you are not giving alms, if you got short arms and deep pockets syndrome, you're...
The fuck is that, a white guy? All right, what up?
Not going to be raised up.
Trickery, deceit.
You're not going to be raised up.
Trickery, deceit.
You're not going to be raised up.
All right. Appreciate you for rocking with 9 Spiral. Now I'm going to lean on the Ock G-Dash, man. Y'all check out the good Ock G-Dash over at G-Dash The Prophet. A great channel. Now I'm going to kind of lean on G-Dash because, you know, he went in on these guys, this organization, this entity, whatever you want to call it. And, man, wonderful job that he did. So we're going to stop by his crib. Knock knock. G-Dash, what you were saying, what we got so far, my man?
So far,
all right.
Okay, we've been exposing IUIC. As you know, I've been building up a strong case for many things that have been going on. There's a lot of deception going on, but now I understand why. Okay, so what we've exposed so far is the satanic hand signs that Nathaniel Ray of IUIC has been throwing up, just like all your Christian pastors, okay, have been throwing up. So these are the similarities that we see here, all right, throwing up these devil horns, and I showed y'all he knows exactly what that means, okay, throwing it up at his people, throwing it up towards the Bible, the scriptures, our book, okay. Then I showed y'all the Freemasonry connection, okay, with the garments, okay, you can't deny it, the designs, you cannot deny these things.
God.
However, you can, but just to back it up and to add on, okay, when you look at the black Freemasons, the black Masons, look at their armbands. Look at their armbands. It's the same type of armband that he wears. You see, the devil has to be very crafty, okay? Has to be very crafty. So this is no coincidence. I don't believe in coincidences here, okay? There is no coincidence here. The same armbands that they wear and this Freemasonry thing is the same thing that he's wearing. Just like if you look at a 33rd degree Freemason's hat, okay, that purple and gold, it goes right with their garment. It goes perfect with it.
Check.
Okay. Also, just to confirm it again, if you look at their video, Old Nation of Israel, okay, with this clown ASAP, if you look at the middle end of their video, you will see them lined up in a V or pyramid formation, okay, pyramid formation, just like the black Freemasons, okay. Is this a coincidence here? No, it's not. We have all these things adding up here. This is very clear. This is not a coincidence, but yet people will shove it off like it's nothing. But here you go. This guy is doing all these things in connection with Freemasonry. Okay? In connection with Freemasonry. You can't deny this.
All right.
Okay? Just like I showed y'all with the with his garments, the money green garments, and he had the pyramid on his garment, and they were lined up in that pyramid A formation. Okay? It's the same thing, y'all.
Got him.
Okay, the devil has to show himself, okay, in connection with the A in the circle, which is anarchy, okay? This is a symbol that they always use in these movies, okay? Anarchy, which means making order out of chaos, okay? And that's what they're doing. So we have to notice these patterns, okay? Just like how you know your mother and your father, they have a pattern of the way they do things. Or if you have children, they have a pattern of the way they do things, okay? Just like the way the Most High speaks. The Most High has a pattern of the way he does things, okay? And the devil has a pattern the way he does things. And that's how you can spot and discern a devil. By his patterns of behavior, okay? So, let's get into this Islamic and 501c3 connection, and let's expose these dummies.
Hi, Daniel Sweet here from God's Word First Christian Ministry. I was just thinking about something and I wanted to share with you. Do you guys know what separation of church and state is? That is where the government has decided that church needs to be separate from the state. And, like it or not, I think just on a legal basis, it's probably pretty good. But here's the really weird thing. Did you know that a nonprofit organization, such as a church that has a nonprofit status, is actually owned by the state? Is actually owned by the state? Is actually owned by the state? Think about that for a second. Read the fine paperwork in a 501c3 corporation, like what you get from the government. You just research it online. That doesn't sound like separation of church and state to me. That doesn't sound like separation of church and state to me.
We have been espoused to Christ as a virgin, meaning we're not defiled with the wickedness of the world. We've come out of that.
Bullshit.
That doesn't sound like separation of church and state to me.
We're not defiled with the wickedness of the world. We've come out of that.
Dummies! That doesn't sound like separation of church and state to me.
We're not defiled with the wickedness of the world. We've come out of that. Hypocrisy.
When you start a 501c3 corporation and you want to start a church and you want to be tax exempt, the government owns your church, man. Dummies! The government owns your church, man. Dummies! The government owns your church, man.
Any questions? All right.
Government owns your church, man. That is not separation of church and state when the state owns the church. So that's something you guys got to really think about. When you want to do a good work for the Lord and you want to bring people together and you want to own this for yourself and say, look, God, this is what I do. This is what I own. But you go and you do a tax-exempt thing, you're just handing it to the government. The government owns it.
We're not defiled with the wickedness of the world. We've come out of that.
You're just handing it to the government. The government owns it.
Again, back then I didn't know that they were actually a government organization. IUIC and ASAP were the ones that said they were basically the ones that said, we know, because I started to watch his videos. They told us, quote, stay off of YouTube. You are not to be on YouTube. You are forbidden to be on YouTube. And we know.
Look out. All he missing is a banana. And they were eating banana right now, but I don't like that shit. I'm gonna have to drop a dime on him. I don't like that shit.
Oh, which one of you are on YouTube? We know what you're doing. We know when you're on there. We know how long you're on there. We know exactly what you're watching. We can see. That is what they told us. And you all know that we're listening. You brothers and sisters know that that's true.
If any one of you guys out there are thinking about starting a church, that is so cool. Actually, just go for it. But don't do the 501c3 until you read all the fine paperwork and you talk to an attorney who knows this really, really well. Because if you go into this and you just hand it over, man, there's so many implications there. What's God going to say in the end? And you say, look what I did, God. And you say, but you gave it to a corrupt government. And they owned it.
We're not defiled with the wickedness of the world. We've come out of that.
But you gave it to a corrupt government. Dummies!
We're not defiled with the wickedness of the world. We've come out of that.
But you gave it to a corrupt government. Dummies! But you gave it to a corrupt government. Dummies! But you gave it to a corrupt government.
We couldn't have Israel united. At one point when we grow and we get big, we got to deal with Esau's paperwork.
Hypocrisy.
We got to deal with Esau's paperwork.
Hey man, look here, man. Never trust an Israelite. You see the tactic that he used? He gonna slide that past the congregation, right? By putting emphasis on that word big. They say, back in the day we started IUIC and we got big. You see, he trying to sneak that past you because you gonna be like, hold up. Why y'all dealing with Esau and y'all hate Esau? Don't the Most High say, don't deal with your enemies? And they say, You see, he was gonna, you know what I'm saying? He hit you with that big, he put that emphasis on it, you know what I'm saying? It kind of stun you. You know what I'm saying? And he keep going, he come right behind it with something else. And he said, back in the day, we started IUIC, we got big. Yo, son, let's check him out. Let's check him out, man. Look here. We gonna check him out. Well, yeah, right there. Right there. Let go. Damn, I'm right back where I started. That's some shit. Damn. That ain't it. Here we go. Papa.
Before we get big, we gotta deal with Esau's paperwork.
Hypocrisy.
We gotta deal with Esau's paperwork.
Hypocrisy. That's right.
Okay? We got to deal with them.
But you gave it to a corrupt government, and they owned it.
It's not going to be tax deductible under 501c3. We're not going to play that game. I did that for 35 years.
That is what they told us, and you all know that we're listening. Your brothers and sisters know that that's true.
You know, if any one of you guys out there are thinking about starting a church, that is so cool. Actually, just go for it. But don't do the 501c3 until you read all the fine paperwork and you talk to an attorney who knows this really, really well. Because if you go into this and you just hand it over, man, there's so many implications there. What's God going to say in the end? And you say, look what I did, God. And you say, but you gave it to a corrupt government. And they owned it.
We're not defiled with the wickedness of the world. We've come out of that.
But you gave it to a corrupt government.
Dummies!
We're not defiled with the wickedness of the world. We've come out of that.
But you gave it to a corrupt government.
Dummies!
But you gave it to a corrupt government.
Dummies!
But you gave it to a corrupt government.
We couldn't have Israel united. At one point when we grow, we get big.
We got big.
We gotta deal with Esau's paperwork.
Hypocrisy.
We gotta deal with Esau's paperwork.
Hypocrisy. That's right.
Okay? We got to deal with them.
But you gave it to a corrupt government, and they owned it. I don't know, just kind of thinking, so, look into it. God bless.
But it's not going to be tax deductible under 501c3. We're not going to play that game. I did that for 35 years. I could tell you some horror stories of what that produces. And I got to tell you that I didn't even realize the depth of the stranglehold that those tax codes hold over pastors and deacons and trustees and church officers and the churches themselves until not too long ago. And when we moved here and started this ministry, and I'm not going to give you all the details. It's not necessary that I do that, but the depth of intimidation and evil that is held over the necks and the heads of churches relative to the 501c3 tax exempt status cannot be overstated. It's worse than you think it is. And it's worse than I thought it was. I'm just here to tell you by living testimonial that it is worse than you can possibly imagine. And so when you think about these churches and why are they refusing to speak out? Why are they not taking a stand? Why are they not standing up in the pulpits and telling their people about the Sheriff's First Bill? Why are they not talking about the freedom issues, the constitutional issues of our state and of our community? It's because of that 501c3 tax exempt status that's held over their head by the Internal Revenue Service.
See that? Yeah, man. Shout out to DJs, man. All right, we're in Jeremiah chapter 5, verse 30 through 31. Let's get it. Bam! Okay. There it is right there. Let's get that little big. Come on with it now. Get right now. It says, an astonishing and horrible thing has been committed in the land. The prophets prophesy falsely, and the priests rule by their own power, and my people love to have it so. But what will you do in the end? Huh? Papa, come.
Let's first look at the First Amendment, okay, of the U.S. Constitution. Let's start here. The First Amendment guarantees freedoms concerning religion, expression, assembly, and the right to petition. It forbids Congress, okay, the government, from both promoting one religion over others and also restricting an individual's religious practices. It guarantees freedom of expression by prohibiting Congress from restricting the press or the rights of individuals to speak freely. It also guarantees the right of citizens to assemble peaceably and to petition their government. So we see here this First Amendment is what what is known as separation of church and state by your First Amendment right here. So the government should not have any dealings with a church or your church. Okay, this is dealing with Christians too, for those that claim to be in these Christian churches. Okay, so the government has no right over your church. Okay, and it's supposed to be a separation from church and state. This is very important when finding out about the 501c3, or for those that join and that form this 501c3 type church. You will realize you are now in a business with the government. Okay, your church is no longer free to do what it wants at the end of the day, though you may think so.
Boy, look here, boy, you just signed a treaty. But ain't nothing but an old treaty. Huh? That some of us niggas been signing. Got a history of signing, shaking hands with these devils. Huh? It is strictly forbidden. The Most High strictly forbids it. They go.
Now, if we go to this site here, okay, IsraelitesUnite.com, I thought they bring out some great information concerning this 501c3 tax exempt. When you start these 501c3, you are now putting your people, okay, in bondage, putting your people in the hands of the government, okay, and not in the hands of Christ or the Mashiach or the Most High, okay? You are now in the hands of the government. It's government controlled, okay? Christ is supposed to be the head of your church, of your organization, not the government to have control. So now you are in business with the government.
Huh? Yes, sir. Yes, you're in business. The good ox says, the Tawab ox says, you're in business. Look here, man. Get out.
Okay, you are no longer a camp or a solo set apart Israel or set apart Israelites. You are in bed with the government. This confirms the things that I've brought out in previous lessons, okay, with these Freemasons, okay? So now let's see who came up with the 501c3.
Lyndon B.
And who do we have the pleasure of seeing right here is your wonderful so-called white man by Lyndon B. Johnson.
Lyndon Bang?
Now, these Hebrew Israelites would call him an Edomite.
Okay? We couldn't have Israel United. At one point when we grow, we get big, we gotta deal with Esau.
You see that? When we started there, back in the day, IUIC, we got big, we gotta deal with him. You see what I'm saying? He slide that in. We gotta deal with him. You know what I'm saying? He hit you with that big, though. That's the tactic that they use. You see what I'm saying? Nah, man, look, check. You know, back in the day when we started IUIC, we got big. Alright, here you go. Remember back in the day we started IUIC, we got big. We had to deal with it. Got to do the paperwork. You see what I'm saying? He done hit you with that big. It's not registering. Man, look here. Pop off.
Paperwork.
That's right.
Okay? We got to deal with them.
So he's the one that has come up with this 501c3, okay? These Israelites would call this guy an Edomite, which the so-called white man is not an Edomite. He's a heathen.
Goddamn heathen.
He's a heathen. He is not Esau. But since they're saying he is Esau, why would you follow something that Esau started?
Come.
Pretty interesting to me.
Mm-hmm.
Okay, but let's read here. Let's read here a little bit now. Most churches in America have organized 501c3 tax-exempt religious organizations. This is a fairly recent trend that has only been going on for about 50 years. Churches were only added to Section 501c3 of the tax code in 1954. House Resolution 235 was designed to revise the IRS code to remove restrictions placed on churches.
See that? 1954. What else was popping off in 1954? Civil rights movement. Ring a bell? Huh? They was trying so hard to amalgamate you. You know, they wanted to be with you. They wanted to join with you. See, that's the only way that they could fool you. You see, back in Birmingham, my grandmother said it was a plethora, a heap. Back, you know, that country talk, it was a heap of them down there. They wasn't with that goddamn integration shit. They rather stay segregated, right? But see, they saw us coming up. We was, every time we got together and we were separate from the heathen, we would build ourselves up. Remember Black Wall Street? We separate from the motherfuckers. We automatically, the Most High raises us up as long as we keep and come back to his laws, statutes, and commandments. You see that? Remember Dr. King say, I feel like I done led my people into a burning house. There you go.
And nonprofit organizations in 1954 by then Senator Lyndon Johnson. Prior to 1954, churches and nonprofit organizations had no such restrictions on their freedom of speech or their right to speak out in favor or against political issues or candidates. The history of Johnson's IRS gag order is intrusive. It began with what some historians believe to be a fraudulent election of Johnson to the Senate in 1948. 1948? Same time the fake Jews went over there in Israel? Wow, interesting. It has been maintained by both conservative and liberal historians that Lyndon Johnson's election to the Senate in 1948 was won by massive voter fraud. Okay, so here's your fraudulent man, whom you or these Hebrews would call an Edomite. This is what you're following. This is what you're following. Okay, this man here who started the 501c3. Okay. Here he goes, right here. This is your man. So your church or your camp is following what you or what these clowns would call an Edomite, who's really a heathen. But it's so funny how they say the white man is the devil, but yet they turn around and follow the devil.
Go in
and
business.
they will fix their mouth to say, well, this is the Most High's mercies. Okay, the Most High is allowing us to do these things.
These different things that the Most High has allowed in the system is considered the Most High's mercies.
Exactly.
Interesting. Is he really now?
Man, look here. I don't know which one of y'all said that, but don't you put that evil on the Most High, Ricky Bobby.
Or are you really wicked doing something else because you are in love with money, filthy lucre. Okay. Let's see here. What are the results when a church incorporates and surrenders itself to the jurisdiction of the state? The church is, number one, the church is no longer considered a real institution, but it goes through a transformation and becomes a fictitious state-created person or institution.
Check.
Interesting. State-created. Wow. Government agents, like I've been saying. Hello. Number two, the church comes under the jurisdiction of the state and therefore surrenders its headship to the state.
Check.
So who is your head? Isn't the Mashiach, the one you call Christ, your head? So here it goes. Therefore surrenders its headship to the state. Okay, so the Mashiach is no longer your head. You have just given away your people into the hands of the state. The same people oppressing you, the same people killing you, poisoning you, harassing you, persecuting you. You have given them into their hands. So when martial law and all these things come down the pipeline, let's see who's going to really be for you.
Oh, treat a sign of nigga.
Your headship. Okay, so the Mashiach is not there. The Most High is not running that. Number four, the church must open its books and all practices to the investigation of the state. Investigation? So that reminds me of the ex-IUIC member when she said how they were like, don't go on YouTube. They want your information. We know what you're watching. Sounds like an investigation to me. Sounds like somebody's watching to me and keeping a lookout on their people. State investigation? Wow. This would include church.
What going on, Nate? Talk to me. Come deal with me. Come deal with me.
January 30th, 2002. Okay, January 30th, 2002 is when this picture was taken. As you guys know, IUIC was created in 2003. All right, and if you don't know, now you know.
All right.
So this was a photo taken in 2002 of former detective, NYPD, 3rd grade, Detective Nathaniel Ray.
Got it.
Church membership rolls, Christian school records, regulations on all functions of the church and any of its ministries. And I don't know, we don't even have to go any further. But this sounds like government interference, which makes sense why these things are happening in IUIC the way they are happening. So this is the last thing that I want to read here. Okay, Christian churches, ministries, and organizations may not do the following. I just want to read some. Expose conspiracies. Okay, criticize the New World Order. But now here's a really interesting one. Number 24. Criticize the Masonic Lodge.
Got him.
Wow, really? You can't do that?
Whoa.
Now, I just showed y'all these guys are Masons, okay? It is very clear that these brothers are into Freemasonry hard. But here it goes. You cannot criticize the Masonic Lodge, okay? The Order of Skull and Bones or other secret societies. Really interesting information.
All right, we're in 1 Maccabees chapter 1, verse 11 through 13. Read.
In those days there went out of Israel wicked men, and they persuaded many, saying, Let us go and make a covenant with the heathens that are round about us.
Read.
For since we departed from them, many evils have befallen us. And the word seemed good in their eyes.
Read.
And some of the people determined to do this, and went to the king, and he gave them license to do after the ordinances.
Licenses, 501c3s and shit. Read.
Of the heathens. And they built a place of exercise in Jerusalem, according to the laws of the nations. And they made themselves prepuces and departed from the holy covenant, and joined themselves to the heathens, and were sold to do evil.
See that? Was sold to do evil. We can't make this shit up. All right, let's get it in Ezekiel chapter 14, verse 6 through 10. Huh? Most High says to Ezekiel, therefore say to the house of Israel, thus says the Most High, repent, turn away from your idols, and turn your faces away from all your abominations, For anyone of the house of Israel, or of the strangers who dwell in Israel, who separates himself from me and set up his idols in his heart, and puts before him what causes him to stumble into iniquity, then comes to the prophet to inquire of him concerning me, I, the Most High, will answer him by myself. I will set my face against that man and make him a sign and a proverb, And I will cut him off from the midst of my people. Then you shall know that I am the Most High. And if that prophet is induced to speak anything, I, the Most High, have induced that prophet, and I will stretch out my hand against him and destroy him from among my people Israel. And they shall bear their iniquity. The punishment of the prophet shall be the same as the punishment of the one who inquired, That the house of Israel may no longer stray from me, nor be profaned anymore with all their transgressions, but that they may be my people, and I may be their power, says the Most High.